Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Russell Westbrook and the Denver Nuggets. All right, so like I said, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Russell Westbrook and the Denver Nuggets because this is a team that in the offseason, this is a team I was wrong about. Those are the teams I'm coming to first because fans, I gotta apologize to y'all. I thought the Denver Nuggets were being cheap, letting KCP go, but Russell Westbrook is someone that Jokic asked for, and that's the only thing Jokic asked for. And I knew the Denver Nuggets were gonna give it to him soon as like he's asking for a minimum player, and their chemistry together has been awesome because Russell Westbrook is one of the better cutters to the basket, and Aaron Gordon is also one of the better cutters. So Jokic, best passing big man of all time, now he has a rotation of cutters, and both of these cutters are amazing at what they do. Um, I must add on, I think in the playoffs, Aaron Gordon should be the guy that starts, but Aaron Gordon on the bench for now, the fact that he's willing to like take that role and not complain, and shout out to Aaron Gordon because coming to the bench is tough, but it's for Russell Westbrook and he knows Jokic, he's on that team, man. You always got a chance. So if the team's asking someone as good as Aaron Gordon to come off the bench, it's a compliment. It's a compliment. But in the playoffs, I might. Well, we'll see how it goes. But starting Westbrook is amazing, man. Him and Jamal Murray as a backcourt, it's ideal for Westbrook because he has a shooter next to him. Him coming off the bench with Peyton Watson was like two negative shooters off the bench, and yeah, that's still a thing with Aaron Gordon. I personally think I would. Man, I think I would bring Christian Braun off the bench and still start Aaron Gordon, but Mike Malone, he knows what he's doing, and this is a coach of the year type of move to me. Like implementing Westbrook into the lineup. It's also just Yoke is the best player in the world, and he just they see things in the same time. They sync together. They're both veterans. And Westbrook, he plays at an MVP level in his career before. He's done that. Westbrook is that type of guy. And he's not at the same level, of course, but at whatever age Westbrook is at now, he's in his mid-30s at the tail end of his career. He's trying to show us he got more in the tank. Like, just because he's on a minimum contract does not mean Westbrook gives minimum effort. He's still one of those guys that every possession, him and Giannis, they give it their all every possession to the point where like they do too much, man. You know what I mean? Like they play with a little bit too much tenacity. But at the same time, you love that tenacity that Westbrook plays with, man. The Denver Nuggets, man, scary team to go up against in the playoffs, especially if Westbrook got things going right for him. Because if Plan A, which is going to be Westbrook in the starting lineup, it seems like for now on, works out, dude, Aaron Gordon off the bench is nice, man. And the whole problem with the Denver Nuggets to me was they got a weak bench, and that would not be a thing anymore because you're going to have Aaron Gordon off that bench. But if Westbrook does not keep up the play and he goes back to a bench role, and he is the player that we saw at the end of the playoffs where teams just stop focusing on him and they guard him everywhere that isn't around the basket, he becomes the guy that we saw. Then the Denver Nuggets, they got to go move him to the bench, maybe cut him out the lineup. And if they were to cut him out the lineup, what they'd have Julian Strother, who's been shooting well. They will have Peyton Watson, who still defends well. And that would be like their bench depth. That's the thing about the Nuggets. I think they need like one or two more pieces. Westbrook, he should be coming off the bench, but he's playing so well that like it either be him or Christian Braun. I do think Aaron Gordon is going to find his way back into the starting lineup. I think they're just trying to find out like how much spacing does Westbrook need. MPJ at the 4 with Westbrook is amazing. It's been working out really well. I want to look at Russell Westbrook's stats the past few games. I don't really keep up with stats, but like I know that he's been playing well. Westbrook stats last let's say 15 games, or Westbrook stats as a starter on the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, so as a starter, he's averaging 14.6 points, 7.2 assists, 6 rebounds in 25 games as a starter for the Nuggets, which is actually pretty well, man. Like I'm saying, gives you a little bit of rebounding, gives you a playmaking boost, and Jamal Murray being able to use more as an off guard is amazing because I think Jamal Murray is naturally a combo guard, like similar to D'Angelo Russell, but he's better than D'Lo. You know, he's a better shooter than D'Lo. Like I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing their like size and their play style. Um, Jamal Murray in the playoffs last year, we seen in the clutch, you go to him. You gonna go to him every single time. Why would you go anywhere else, right? Because I wouldn't, unless it's Jokic, you know, the best player in the world. But like clutch situations, we don't need Westbrook on the court. We just need Jamal Murray, Jokic, and some spacing, man. Um, Start off games, Westbrook, like I said, that tenacity throughout the regular season, especially, is something that is so uplifting for a team. And you already know the type of leader Westbrook is. But when I'm questioning Westbrook on the Nuggets for is the playoffs, but I think he's going to put the Denver Nuggets in the driver's seat to get a maybe top 3 seed in the West. You got the OKC Thunder, who are 37-8. They're not. I don't think the Nuggets are going to catch up to the 1 seed, but you got the Rockets and Grizzlies, who are 2 games ahead of them. If the Nuggets could find their way into the 3 seed or the 2 seed and stay away from the Thunder as long as possible, I think this is a team that can make the finals again. Maybe this is a team that should just go ahead and face the Thunder in round 1, or not round 1, round 2, when Chet probably isn't back yet. We don't know the timetable on Chet. Maybe Chet is estimated to return for the Western Conference Finals, you know, and you play them in round 2 and just get them out before Chet comes. I don't know, but I think that the biggest threat to the Nuggets is the Thunder, and the Thunder will need to be a healthy team. After that, the Nuggets are the biggest threat in the West. You got a Grizzlies team that's cool. You got a Rockets team that's young. I just don't see the Rockets. We'll talk about them later. Another episode I'm going to be recording. Um, I don't know about the Rockets, man. The Lakers, you know, the Nuggets own them, so like it's only right to say the Nuggets would win that. The Clippers would be fun if the Clippers were healthy, but when are the Clippers ever healthy? The Timberwolves rematch would be different. The Timberwolves rematch would be different, but I mean, the only series where I would even think about betting against the Nuggets in a 7 game series would be against the Thunder, and the Thunder would have to be healthy. And right now they aren't healthy. So right now I'd go with the right now I'd go with the Denver Nuggets. So right now the Denver Nuggets are the favorites to me to make the finals if OKC isn't healthy. So finding out what they do in the playoffs with the rotation is very important to me right now, especially it's trade deadline time. I think everything Jokic is saying about this team is right. He asked for a minimum contract player, and then he said we need spacing. Westbrook, when he said we need spacing, I don't think Westbrook was the spacing that he was asking for. You know, maybe a Corey Kispert, like Corey Kispert has not been shooting that well from 3 this year, so maybe the Wizards sell low on him. You know, you could just give like Zeke Naji and some random pick. You know, you got to get some cheap shooter from maybe get Bruce Brown back, but Bruce Brown makes like a $20 million contract, so you can't do that. You know, I like just get someone cheap that could shoot, and I will have the Nuggets going all the way. Cheap guy that can shoot. Maybe in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook could play a backup center role. Like kind of weird to say it out loud, but like in lineups where Aaron Gordon is the center, you could have Westbrook on the court with Aaron Gordon because Jokic not being on the floor, you need good rebounders, you know, and at his position, Russell Westbrook is a positive rebounder. So like that's what I mean. Not point Westbrook. What run Westbrook when Jokic isn't playing, you know, and We'll see how teams react to that. Maybe teams are just gonna let Aaron Gordon just go in the paint and like just disrespect Westbrook's jumper and just go under on everything, and that's the problem. Maybe you go and put MPJ at the five, which if you put MPJ at the five, you would need another shooter to be able to do that lineup, and the shooter would have to be like a small forward, like they need a shooting, they need to add a wing that can shoot. If they could also play defense, that would be amazing. But hey, Denver fans, man, let me know what y'all want in the comment section below. I think y'all are a shooting wing away from from winning the finals, man. Julian Strother, he could be that wing. He is that wing. But you need one more. You got Julian Strother, you got Peyton Watson. You need one more piece off the bench, man. Maybe even a shooting center. If you can go get a shooting center, oh y'all winning the next two championships. But if you could get a tall person that could shoot, I'm not even asking for defense. This is a team that just needs one small thing. And yeah, Denver Nuggets, man. We haven't seen teams win more than one championship that much in this era so far. This has been an era of parity, and it would be cool if the Denver Nuggets could be a team that like the same way Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich and the Spurs kept their dynasty, where they were just like knocking on the door for like 20 years. Maybe Jokic and the Nuggets could do that for the next 10, man. If they keep making these small little moves right, and if Jokic keep making the players around him like Russell Westbrook will come on contracts like a minimum better around him, especially with the shooters that they got, man. Shout out to the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, he's been off to a slower start, but he's always like this in the regular season. He puts so much work in the playoffs that like he has a longer off season than the rest. So I think the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray, he all right. KCP losing him was an overreaction by me, Nuggets fans. So I was fighting some of y'all in the comments like, nah, y'all tripping. You just coping losing KCP for nothing, man. KCP's an inconsistent shooter. Even in the playoffs, he was. So like Russell Westbrook, for a guy on a minimum contract, it's gonna be easier to bench him. KCP, he would have been like making 20 mil a year, and he's gonna be in a bad shooting slump. And you have to play him because you couldn't get anyone else because how much money he got. No, Westbrook doesn't put you in that scenario. Westbrook still allows you to add shooters around him. KCP would have only been him. He would have been the shooter that could only shoot sometimes, but he's always locked in defensively. Always locked in defensively. But yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Denver Nuggets fans, let me know what you think. Do you think this is your year? And what do you think is the biggest thing y'all need before the trade deadline? It's like 2 weeks away. Yeah. Everybody have a nice day and God bless.